Hello, everybody. This is Larry. I'm an entry-level UX designer. I've been doing UX design for about roughly a little over a year now. Most of my time has with UX design has been my time with the Google UX design program that I did last year. The course took me about 8 months to complete, maybe closer to 9 months. Um, During that time, I was able to complete two case studies, which were based on hypothetical apps that I created or helped create. One was the Down Under Stakes app, which was an app designed to help people who are very much have a busy lifestyle, single people, people with families. This also includes older people, as well as people who have certain disabilities. And I wanted to make sure on this app that they could place orders, to either dine in at these steak restaurants. They could also do takeout or have delivery, and that it would be a quick and efficient process in which they could have access to certain features such as being able to check the status of their orders in real time. They can also have sign up for the loyalty rewards program in which they accumulate points that can be used towards special promotions or discounts. Also, they had access to like looking up, certain menu items and the descriptions of menu items, as well as having different payment options. And I just wanted to make sure that was a very accessible and enjoyable app for people who are interested in going to like a high quality steak restaurant such as Outback, you got Roost Chris, and other places. And then my second case study, which is for the National Visions and Crafts Gaming Convention, in which it's designed to help people have information about gaming conventions so that they feel comfortable attending a convention. This one was based in Las Vegas, and people who have like a passion for gaming, older people, younger people, people who have, again have certain disabilities, they will have access to this information about the gaming convention, what type of events take place, what's the scheduling for the events, how to book for the events, how to book for places they want to stay at while they're attending these events that usually take anywhere from 3 to 4 days for the whole event. It also tells them, gives them ways of having directions to the events, if they need certain transportation to the events. Um, it can help them with setting up accommodations if they had disabilities, what kind of parking situations will be involved, whether or not there'll be wheelchair access inside and outside the facility. And it was just very, very. I had a good time doing both of these case studies, and so I wanted to display both of those to you all in the upcoming future. I'm also doing redesigns of both of those case studies, so I'm changing certain elements, such as the color scheme, making sure that certain fonts and images, that there's a good contrast so that when people are viewing the app, it's clear, it's legible, it's appealing, and they know exactly what they need to do to achieve whatever goal they may have in mind. They know how to go from point A to B, whether or not they're just trying to, select items and complete transactions, sign up for certain features, etc. So, without further ado, again, I'm Larry Walker, entry level UX designer, and I look forward to displaying my work and collaborating with whomever I can going forth on this UX design journey. Thank you, and have a blessed day. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Larry Walker, uh, entry level UX designer. I just wanted to show you one of my case studies. This case study was done last year. It took me approximately 6 months to complete this case study. And this was done during my time with the Coursera program, the Google UX Design Professional Certificate. Um, I really enjoyed that program. It's really opened my eyes on the importance of, creating a great user experience. All the different phases of design, UX design in particular, the empathizing, defining, ideating, prototyping, and testing. And with this case study, it was a case study for a restaurant app, a steak restaurant app to be precise. Um, this app is designed to help a diversity of people. Um, this was an app that was supposed to help, basically a large spectrum of different users. These can be people who are very much busy, older people, people who live alone. Some of these people have physical disabilities, which include like vision impairments, hearing impairments, people who need wheelchairs to traverse and get around. And so with this app, it was designed so that they can book reservations. Excuse me. They can book reservations. They can also track their orders in real time. And if they want to place an order for delivery, they can do so. They can also do takeout, or if they choose to even want to dine in. And so again, this took me about 6 months to complete. Here's my role in it. I'm a UX designer and researcher from finish to start. It was a solo project. And of course, this is a hypothetical company because this is just a case study for the program. The timeline again. And then here's this problem, the situation that many of these consumers were facing. They didn't feel comfortable about using these some of the current restaurant apps that are out there because they, in the cases of people who have like the physical disabilities, they were didn't feel comfortable going to these restaurants in person because maybe they felt like there weren't accessibility considerations in place. For example, if they were going around in a wheelchair, maybe there are no ramps or lifts at certain restaurants, or if they had a vision impairment and they wanted to place an order, it would have to be um, a type of technology that reads aloud to them on the screen. And not all, many of these apps, these food apps and restaurant apps, don't have those type of features or considerations. And so this app was designed to basically come up with ways to solve these problems. And so, this explains right here, based on the feedback I had gotten early on, that people disliked some of the food apps for the reasons being that a lot of them, ran into problems such as being overcharged. They had missing items. Sometimes as orders didn't show up at all. Um, late orders, and a lot of times they weren't able to get a full refund in many cases. And so it was a bad experience for them. And then for the people who had the physical disabilities, a lot of times they would use apps that didn't, take into consideration that they're not going to be able to use these apps because there's no screen readers in place, no talkback technology, no read aloud features. And so here are some of what the users or participants had to say um, during my user research early on, which I did conduct with 6 actual people. Um, I didn't record any of that, but this was done. Now, right here, this is a solution. This is where we come up with possible solution for the dilemma that many of these customers face. So the app is, of course, designed to, so that they can place their orders, make reservations. If they have a physical disability, they can book their physical accommodations. They can also create an account for future transactions, and so they can also track their orders in real time. And so we had the mission of making sure that this was um, an app that would address many of the issues that people were facing with, you know, um, if they wanted to have the option of dining in and not feeling uncomfortable about it. And so we made it a friendly experience. We made it appealing. We also made sure that this would be something that's fast and efficient and, would just be a good um, user experience. The people would also learn to trust this app because they could track their orders in real time, which is a real benefit for any type of food app. When you're not able to track your orders in real time, a lot of times when things happen, such as missing orders and missing items, it's very, very inconvenient for the customer. They had to go and try to call around to customer service and chat with different people, and it's overall a bad experience. Here I created the personas. We have two personas here. One of them is a married mother. She's married with two girls, working all these hours. When she gets home, she's tired and doesn't feel like cooking every night. So she, downloads an app such as the Down on the Steaks app to have food delivered to her family. And so right here we get to the user journey for each of them, what their actions they take, task lists, such as them signing up and getting on the app and then, making a reservation, how they go about doing that, scheduling the reservation, how they feel at every step, and of course, what can be improved upon, such as including a feature such as an interactive calendar that is fully functional, including a senior discount menu, and also making sure that the service is, just as accommodating as it can be. Here we did a competitive audit analysis. The competitors I chose for this were Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Outback Steakhouse, and Uber Eats. It shows their locations, what each of them is offering as far as a product, the price points, website, business size, and right here, the target audience. In our case, it will be friends and family who just want to be able to deliver or eat in at a quality steak restaurant. Um, whereas in Ruth's Chris example, this is more geared toward adults 35 and older who have an income of at least $100,000. So that's two distinctly different target audiences. So when you're creating an app like this, it's very important to keep your target audience in mind. That way, your product is as marketable and appealing for that particular audience because you stay focused on that. And so I just wanted to show that part. Right here, we get to the actual apps themselves of the competitors, Outback Steakhouse. They have a Dime Rewards program in which people can accumulate points and use them directly in the app. They also have a wait list, and you can check on the status of that wait. The cons, there's crashes and freezes consistently. Their order tracking doesn't work accurately, and the app itself can be slow and difficult to navigate. Whereas with Roost Chris, trying to get this little symbol right here. Okay, they have the Prime Hospitality Group, in which you receive points that can go towards discounts during your birthdays, anniversaries, etc. The cons are that their loyalty program doesn't always register for all customer transactions, and you have to spend at least $1,000 just to get a $25 off credit. They also have Uber Eats, which everybody knows about Uber Eats, um, DoorDash, those type of food delivery apps. There's a wide selection of food places to order from with these apps, and again, these apps make a lot of money because they know what they're doing. They know how to make it so that the customers are able to place their orders in a fast and efficient manner. They also have the feature in which customers can track their orders in real time, and they also offer special discounts and promos. The cons, although they're successful with Uber Eats, there are a lot of customers who are not satisfied, particularly with how they're overcharged for their orders and how they are not able to always get a refund. There are also a lot of late deliveries with this as well. Right here in this phase, we finally get into kind of the designing phase. So I start ideating crazy eights, wireframes. Here's a digital wireframes in which you can see a layout pretty much, the login screens, the home page, menu selection screens, kind of like, what do we have here? Basically placeholders in some cases for like order confirmation screens and payment screens. We have a storyboard right here. Janet, she's a single mother with 3 kids. She's getting off from work. She's tired. Her kids are happy to see her, but they're also hungry. She doesn't feel like cooking, so she downloads the Down Under Steaks app and has the food delivered to her family. Sets the table and everything. Everybody's happy. Then we have this usability testing right here that I conducted. It says we conducted, but it was just me. Okay. There were 6 participants, actual participants, in which I could collected feedback to develop themes and insights. I apologize for the barking in the background, but half of the participants said they would like to see a login feature, which was not included in any of the low fidelity prototypes. Also, some participants wanted to see like a menu button or tab. When I had on my task list that they had to log onto the site, browse the menu, and place an order, some of the participants were confused about the browsing menu part because all they could see on the screen was, for example, place order, the loyalty rewards program, and some other tabs, but nothing that specifically said menu. So I included that. Also, half of the participants wanted a rewards feature, like an incentive program that was not included in the low fidelity prototype. So we jotted that down. And also they would have liked to have seen images, actual pictures of the food. So here's the early prototype screens. See, we got this calendar right here. I don't think this was fully interactive. Then it kind of got a redesign right here. And then finally, this is the redesign, well, for the early prototype. So you can, choose a time and a date. Sign up screen along with a login screen. Right. Then we finally did another usability testing on low fidelity prototype, but this was a little bit different. And after doing this testing on this particular prototype, um, we finally did include a login feature with a sign up feature. Images for the menu selection had been added. But the findings from this was that some of the participants wanted to see like a way to go back to previous screens, which we did not have in place. So we finally did implement home buttons and back to previous screens tabs. Some customers still wanted to see some sort of customer loyalty feature, which was not included in these early prototypes. And they also wanted a rate system prompt in which they could rate the app while in the app. And here's some early screens of these prototype version 2, low fidelity prototype version 2. And then here's the evolution. This is prototype 1, prototype 2, prototype 3, and then finally prototype 4 for the menu screen. Okay, when the high fidelity version was made, here are the screenshots for the flow. Okay, we finally added some of what we collected as far as the feedback we collected from the previous usability testing and user interviews. So a lot of customers still wanted some sort of description of the items, so we finally included a nutritional description of the menu items and a drop-down menu to let them select the toppings that they wanted to see. An in-app prompt was included, and then you had the stats for why this is important right here. In-app messaging, very, very important. And how you do it, it has to be correct. So I'm getting better with it. The way ours comes in is like every 5 minutes, only on certain screens that don't interrupt the flow of the transaction. This prompt will come up. Basically ask you if you're enjoying the app, to rate the app on the App Store or Google Play Store just by clicking, right here. And then once you click and submit, it's already there. It goes automatically to the respective store. So if you're using an Android, it should go directly to the Google Play Store. If you're using an iPhone, it should go to the App Store. So we had that in place. And with that in place, the conversion rate, of course, is higher for apps that have some sort of in-app messaging and push notifications were also included. So right here we show where the push notifications can come up in the app and outside the app. And these, notifications that remind you maybe how many points you have, what type of reservation is coming up, whether or not there's some sort of discount promotion. And then right here it shows the click-through rates on different platforms. Right here is my designs guide. And basically it's showing you the fonts that are used, the colors, as well as the symbols or iconography. And then here are my closing impressions or takeaways. After all the research and testing, the themes and insights that were gathered, um, we use for future implementation of features and things that would make the app more functionable and more valuable. And this is what we learned. I'm sorry, what I learned. Um, but if it was a team, I guess it would be we. All right. So, of course, I learned that there should be alternative ways to get to certain screens other than just maybe one button, especially if that one button isn't universally understood, such as place order. You might want to specifically put a menu page, or if you know it's a site where you're selling tickets, for example, instead of place order, maybe specifically say buy tickets. Also, if there is a sign up feature, a login feature should almost surely follow. I also learned that there should be a way for users to go back to previous screens, whether that be a home um, icon or maybe a back to previous screen button or arrow. And then there should be a correct way of including a rating or review prompt, so it's better for the user and they have a good experience while still having the option to rate the app. I also learned that users, people, period, want to be able to have some sort of incentive or reward when using anything, um, type of digital app, especially. And, you know, it gives you that extra motivation. When I'm using the Burger King app, for example, it makes me more likely to order from there because I want to make sure that my points are going specifically towards that um, app because I enjoy, eating certain things from there. And so, I know once I accumulate a certain amount of points, I'll be able to get off a certain amount of money for a future order, or in some cases, free items. And it's a real beneficial thing. It keeps people coming back. This case study, of course, was very special to me. It's the first case study I conducted, period, um, through the Google certificate program. Although it was hypothetical, I did use actual real participants. A big challenge for me was learning how to oversee and address the needs and wants of the people involved. This was participants, if there were to be other stakeholders and such, making sure that I knew how to use my user research and usability testing to truly solve the problem. I feel like I've gotten a little better at this, but I still have quite a ways to go, quite a lot of things to learn in this regard. I'm also trying to become a better communicator with anybody involved in the design process. In this particular one, I had the real participants complete specific tasks, and I learned to really appreciate what feedback they had to give me, whether it was negative or positive, because any type of feedback that's given is there to help us learn, help us grow, and it really, really brought me down to earth and made me appreciative of feedback. And so I just want to say that this was a interesting and special case for me. And right here, I just want to thank you for your time. You want to contact me for future projects. These are the different social media platforms you can see me on. And hey, that's about it. Again, I'm Larry Walker, an entry-level UX designer. I hope you all have a great, blessed week. And hopefully I'll be able to do my next case study video pretty soon, and any other videos I think will be beneficial for me to share with you in the future. Peace out.